talking about.
If we're doing a reading thing too.
No, we're doing a reading thing. So, yeah. That was very interesting. How's everybody doing tonight? It's your host, Brian O'Reilly. With hosts. With hosts.
You know who the fuck I am. I'm the fucking angry white guy.
They want to know. They want to have reference. This is like another day for people listening, Dan.
It's just the three of us. Then again, nobody's fucking listening to this.
My big deal at my job.
Oh, the people at your job. Yeah, people I don't fucking know. That's wonderful.
One of them wanted to come, Dan. They liked it so much.
Really?
My workout, bro.
Oh, the guy that was supposed to come, like...
Yeah, he was supposed to come yesterday, but...
Oh. So that's what it was. He listened to it and he was interested?
He was like, damn, man, I feel like I want to hang out with you guys.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, my coworker liked it too.
Oh. Your coworkers listen to it.
I mean, I think the problem is we just don't have any marketing.
And then maybe they would think, maybe they would think I'm an asshole.
You know what's funny too?
Brian probably edits everything out where you're a fucking asshole.
No.
That's a lot of editing. I'm not going to have anything to say.
That's
yeah,
true.
Exactly.
Yeah, my you know what? That's right. That's
what I was going to say. People that listen to it do think
whoa. Workout bro likes me.
No, but that's the thing with assholes. It's always the fun laugh at like the shit they say, but when you have to deal with them, it's not funny. Like it's just like, you know, a good example is like, you know, Rick and Morty. Like, you know, it's fun to like laugh at all the shit Rick does, but actually dealing with Rick is like, oh my god, like this guy's an asshole.
I like that you compare me to Rick.
No,
see,
you're taking the good out of that, and again, you're ignoring the thing that I'm saying.
I think what we need,
which again goes into the fact that like the shit I was saying before, you don't bother to understand.
I think we all need to detoxify.
I get your reference, Dan.
I think we all need to detoxify, guys.
Oh shit! I back no dancing all the episodes. So you know that reference.
Oh yeah.
I would like to see what detoxified.
Honestly, like, yeah, he was just wouldn't have a character. But the thing is, just like you know, on a personal like self-reflection level, that's interesting because like, well, actually, the show like kind of takes it a step further into the way like what you think is toxic, which is kind of weird too because it's like it's based on like what you think is wrong about you as opposed to like what quote unquote is wrong about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just like what Rick said, how could the machine know what's like bad? How could you know that, you know, being an angry person is bad? Maybe being an angry person is good, or whatever. You know.
Right.
It has to go by what you think is bad about yourself. And he thought his love for Morty was bad.
I had an idea, but I don't think I'm gonna go with it. You should point out what we think is toxic in the other
Whoa!
But that's really bad. That's not gonna end well.
Yeah, I think Dan's perfect though. So.
Nah, I wasn't gonna have you do Dan. I was gonna have you do me. So I'm interested.
Oh, what's wrong?
You're talking about incest now?
Yeah. Oh, we could do that. Destiny talks about incest. I like that.
No, we're not doing incest. Not on this.
You ever see Wisecrack? You ever listen to them?
Yeah.
They have a podcast for Rick and Morty. It's pretty good. They talk about each of the new episodes from this season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very good. Very.
Okay.
You see how complicated and in depth the show is. It's really good.
It really is. That's one of the things I like about Rick and Morty. It's very in depth, and like you know they do a lot of what's it called? I guess in a way parodying, like you know, like parodying stuff.
It's
and,
like especially like the episode before this one. The one with because it was like training day in it, and they had
well that the Citadel,
of
Rick's, but yeah, what they do like it's because it's not just like a simple parody. Like I guess like a more basic example is the Avengers episode, or what were they?
Mm-hmm. Vindicators.
The Vindicators.
Vindicators
which
3.
is basically they do the simple parody of like a superhero team and like throwing Rick and Morty into that, but also in his like drunken like little puzzle game, like there's little bits of like him like saying all these characters are like have simple descriptions and they're not important, and taking his sort of nihilistic view of the genre itself.
In the Wisecrack episode, they talk about stuff like that, right? And they were talking about the alligator robot. They were like, usually when you have a superhero or something like that, you combine them with like a regular thing with like a badass thing. But in this, they combined two badass things, which is just redundant and retarded, which is like what Rick said.
Yeah, because he was saying like, one cold and unfeeling thing to another cold and unfeeling thing. Yeah, that's
like an android is cool, Robot Man is cool.
No, actually, the two badass things is interesting because most of the time when that's done, it's done very poorly, and it's like very like it just becomes so cliched. Way too early, because you're like, it's like he's half badass and he's also half badass. He's like biracially badass. It's like, come on, like there's no fucking like distinction there. It's like he uses a gun and a sword, like
and he combines the two into a gunblade.
Yeah,
Fantasy 8.
Right? Yeah, but
just edge on top of edge. So what makes gorillas that are enhanced by machines interesting? Because that's like a big like a hero thing, like
Gorillas enhanced by machines.
Like gorillas that are made smart.
That's a smart gorilla. It's not combining anything. Gorilla Grodd is he's psychic, I guess.
Well, he's telepathic.
Yeah, it's like Winston. It's like a big strong dude who's given like technology, and now he's like a big strong smart badass dude.
But he's not anybody's favorite character.
No, but there is like there are like a bunch of characters that are like that, and you have the Planet of the Apes. I mean, it could be, I don't know, because I guess I just don't see it, but in the way of like I'm like, I don't go crazy for gorilla characters, but
does anybody?
Well, but I feel like there's got to be something
gorillas,
there.
man.
Like, I don't know.
There's probably only one cool gorilla, I would say. I haven't even seen it yet, but the one from Attack on Titan is probably a cool gorilla.
Oh yeah, he's a cool gorilla.
That's
that's kind of different though.
I don't know.
That's a little different.
But you have Winston. You even have in the comic books. There's this one gorilla who's on the in Agents of Atlas. I mean, they're not a popular team, but like it's just there's.
You can be silly and funny. I think. What's the monkey that's a detective?
Detective Chimp.
There you go. Yeah, you can be funny. Detective Chimp.
Yeah, it's really that simple. No, but like it seems like with gorillas, I don't know.
I think there's something that we like as humans about gorillas.
Because we are.
Possibly the whole like close whatever, you can explain it better, Brian.
The simian nature.
Spider Bat wouldn't be cool. Batman is cool.
Spider Bat?
Or Bat Chimp. Would
Bat
Chimp work?
Bat Chimp sounds hilarious.
No, they did that. They did the.
Why does that sound
universe
good?
where all the superheroes are monkeys, right?
That sounds really good. Why does that sound good?
Spider Chimp. Yeah. Or there's a spider monkey. There's an actual spider monkey. That's an actual animal.
Yeah. Spider Chimp. I like that.
Marvel did that though. They have like a universe of Captain America's a monkey and Iron Man's a monkey, and they have that.
This is just a trope. I think we just like monkeys.
No, I think you're seeing too many monkeys, and there are not really that many monkeys out there.
No, I'm really excited for a monkey universe of Marvel characters, though.
Well, you can read the comic.
So what is your interest then? Because like it seems like you have an actual.
Yeah, I don't think there's that many monkeys out there that Brian is clinging on to right now.
No, I mean, I guess you can't really say that it's across the board that combining badass animals with badass machines is always uninteresting, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, that's a good point. No, but yeah, for in that regard, like, I understand, but I guess I was thinking of, especially in the 90s, like, a lot of, like, comic book characters that were coming out, like, they're just like, you know, purposely like badass, like, and they're just so badass that their badassness is badass. You're like, okay, this is, it just ends up being ridiculous. Because like they're manly man and you know,
they like, what do people like? People like guns, right? What if somebody was a gun? All right, we can't really do that. How about the human bullet? And they made the human bullet. But all they needed was somebody to use guns. The Punisher. That's all you needed.
But that's why when
yeah.
Does he get him the cannon?
Well, this is from the Tick.
Oh yeah,
this is from the Tick.
Yeah,
but they have the superhero like the human bullet too, I think. So.
Oh, maybe this is the actual one.
Probably.
I don't think so. It doesn't look like it.
The human bullet, the Tick. Have you guys seen the new Tick?
No. Have you?
No.
I haven't.
It's on Amazon, right? So.
I want to.
I should watch it. I should watch it. Yeah.
But what was I gonna say?
Something about badass on top of badass is not
Oh,
badass.
well,
Rick and Morty, Vindicators.
Basically, just the idea of like, you know, making these characters badass. Like I remember you guys saying you had this one friend that did this character that, you know, would just talk about how badass he is.
Because I think the problem is there's got to be context to cool. Like,
Exactly.
you can't have a world that's always cool because there's nothing.
He's thinking about, what do I like about Spike Spiegel? I like that he smokes. I like that he knows kung fu. I like that he does whatever. But he doesn't put also, and he's like, oh, he's tragic because his girlfriend died or whatever. But he has, I guess there's like other layers to Spike.
Right.
He's not seeing that, but he's like,
that's the problem because the you know, like, especially for comics in the 90s where, like, you know, everything was extreme and blah blah, you know, the thing was they were inspired by a lot of the stuff that like Alan Moore did and Frank Miller did with Dark Knight Returns. And the thing is, well, Frank Miller did it the wrong way, but Alan Moore, he did gritty so like well that you're like, oh damn. But again, they just saw the badass parts, and they didn't see the layer, you know, the depth of it.
Yeah.
You know?
What was the difference like between the bronze, gold, silver? There's like bronze is like where people were killing people left and right and stuff like that, and then
bronze is when everything starts becoming more edgy.
And then silver is when they were PG, and then
well, I like Golden Age. I like refer to as like World War II era, which is basically like, you know, we gotta fight the Nazis, and practically every villain was a Nazi.
or Asian.
But yeah, you know, you'll read like for Nazis like, oh, Nazis or Ratsies, and with Japanese it's like Japs, you know.
It's a shame that Nazis are coming back, but not evil Japs.
Japan.
Well, how is that?
What are you talking about? Look, when they reference, remember, right? Who do they reference when they're like the perfect country? Japan. They're like,
oh, I guess you're right.
yeah. So they're still in style. They're both still in style.
But it's not the Japanese doing it,
right?
Yeah,
you know?
it's not them
the Nazis are doing it.
But it's not like the Japanese were like pro Nazism. They weren't pro Nazism.
No, they weren't.
They just worked with Germany.
Yeah.
But see,
It's funny that they're still intertwined, Brian.
That is kind of interesting, though. That is very interesting.
Oh yeah, the Japanese, they're the white people of the Asians. Like,
yeah,
honestly.
it's like they it's cool for like Japan doesn't let anybody in. Japan is like isolationist.
They're very isolationist,
and that's who the
and
Nazis
they're
and the white
racist
supremacists
as
talk
fuck.
about now. So that's pretty interesting. That's still pretty cool.
We're still talking about the.
That's pretty cool.
No, but the thing about you saying like, oh, why don't we have like these racist Japanese? The problem with that is like, you know, Nazis have made a resurgence, but like, what about the Japanese? Where's that resurgence? I want the yellow fear back. You know, the yellow peril.
Yeah.
You know, where we assume that the Japanese are gonna take over and like make us all fucking Japs.
I guess they learned after the first time.
Yeah.
Lesson.
Well, you know,
We didn't nuke Germany, so
that. I guess there's
Because it's landlocked.
some credence to that.
It's easier to bomb Japan.
Oh yeah, I guess Japan was
Japan's an island. It's easier to bomb Japan.
Yeah, it wouldn't
than it is to
affect
bomb
any other
Germany.
country as well.
Yeah.
I would say we really thought about it, but you know, that's not.
Well,
really
actually, the
true.
yellow peril thing started off as a Chinese thing, which was
Oh, we weren't fighting China ever, were we?
No, the thing is, China's always been invaded by like every fucking country.
The thing is, they all look. I couldn't finish that statement.
You don't have to.
No, but honestly, in regards,
he's like, honestly, they do look the same.
No, in regards to like, they all look the same. I realize that's just with everyone. Like, we all do that. Unless you're like among the people that's gonna go, oh, wait a minute, how dare you assume that?
I'm Nordic. I'm not Polish, sir.
Well, right. Like once you're within that realm, you understand. You see the differences.
I don't know. All right.
Whoa. And then
I think I can tell the difference between black people and white people. Indian, maybe a little bit less. But I say once you go Asian, I think it's difficult to
tell. When you see two black people, you can tell like what. If they're Nigerian or if they're South African or something.
But if you look at a Chinese and look at a Japanese.
Actually, I wonder if I sounded like an idiot in Nigeria.
I think I could tell the difference. I think I can tell the difference between like a Korean and a Japanese and a Chinese. I think I can do that.
But the thing is, Asians do. But it's along the lines of knowing the difference and being around like
it might be.
The same people. Like if you can tell the difference between white people and black people, it's most likely because you're around them enough to tell the difference.
Yeah, I would say that.
Because I've heard black people say white people all look alike. And everyone fucking does that.
Because their skin.
Yeah. But I'd say I kind of can pick up on who's Korean once in a while.
No, I think I can tell the difference between all of them. Koreans are sexier.
You're married
Japanese
to
are
one.
cute.
I love you, Michelle. You're the most prettiest girl ever. Shout out to my wife.
Excellent. Yeah, so we're not racist here. I just want to be afraid of Asians again.
I don't think America.
Yeah, make
you know what
Asians
though?
scary again.
You know what though? We still are afraid of Asians technically because
Are you thinking of the Dreamer?
Is it Korean?
Hold on, I might just sound like an idiot.
Yep, you do.
Yeah, well,
I'm thinking of Indians.
Idiot.
Because
Indians are Asian.
Well, they
Indians
are
Asian, yeah.
But it's
But
always...
I don't think the Middle East is located in Asia.
So then you're talking about a different kind of people.
Yeah.
They're not Indian.
Yeah, they're not Indian. I'm the racist.
They're Middle Eastern.
They are in the Middle Eastern area. Yeah, it's kind of over here. Where is this? What is this? What country are you? Middle East?
It's not like they're their own continent.
Alright, Western Asia. Alright, so we're good.
Still Asian, huh?
They're still Asian. Yep, we're good. There we go.
See,
Alright,
like,
so we brought back the brown
but the
skin
thing
now.
is, like nowadays it seems like we call Indians and like what we think of like as regular Asians as all Asians, but then like when you want to make that distinction, it's like, oh, what the fuck do you say? Like, you know what I mean? Like Indians, you're like, okay, they're from India, right? But then it's like, like you gotta make that distinction because Indians aren't the same as like the other Asian countries. Like
they're different. Noticeably.
Yeah, they're
like,
very different.
like
they're only called
even,
Asian, I think, because of the continent, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but we are scared of Asians again because we're scared of the Muslims.
Oh, that's what you wanted to say?
Yeah.
You had to look it up to make sure?
I had to make sure. I had to make sure I knew my geography.
Ah, you dumb fuck.
Because I'm a typical American. I don't know anything over there.
I can't say that we were ever... I think we were afraid of the Nazis. I don't think we were ever afraid of the Japs.
No, but we hated them.
Yeah, we were. Are you kidding me? Concentration camps, internment camps. I mean,
yeah.
Sort of, I guess.
Now we're locking up the boat.
and the fucking the term itself, yellow peril. Like that's fear. Like I mean,
yeah, it's
that's
yellow fever now though. So
yellow peril, yellow fever, baby. Nice.
Plus, they like. Well, Nazis want to bang Asians, right? So
yeah, they do now.
I want a submissive Asian wife.
I mean, they probably did back then. Didn't they work together? So
I don't know.
I don't know.
They didn't want to keep the race pure back then.
I guess, but
now they're a little open to it.
Fucking liberals.
I'm a very curious guy, but like Nazi shit, I really don't care to be like too curious about. I feel like the more you learn with that, like you get nothing out of that. It's like, oh, they're even shittier than what I know.
You gotta learn who the enemy is, Dan. When I listen to this, when I listen to right shit, I find it oddly convincing.
Wait, listen to what?
Right shit, right wing shit.
I would give them this. Like they're very good at.
Say that again. When you listen to right wing shit,
I find it oddly convincing.
Yeah, because I would say they're very good at messaging.
Mm-hmm.
They're very good at making, like, essentially bullshit sound
good.
Sound very good. Yeah. Because when you're not trying to induce skepticism in people, it's very easy to just say whatever you want and make it sound convincing, you know?
Mm.
Because they're not going to be like, well, we're like 80% certain, or there's a 97% consensus on this idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, that just like with scientists. Oh, you know, like, you're not absolutely sure about a thing, so therefore it's all wrong and science is stupid.
It's like there's a 1% chance that she's going to sleep with you, and you're just going to say, oh, so there's a chance. And I'm going to fuck her. Get wrecked, nerd. Like, that's, yeah. So I will say they're very good at convincing people. I can't fault them for that. I mean, I can fault them for that because they're pieces of shit most of the time.
Right, exactly, because they're used. It's manipulation. I mean,
yeah. But yeah, what kind of right stuff do you listen to, Trevor? Breitbart, mostly, I imagine. Milo.
I got shit. What's the shit called?
How liberals and Muslims raped our country.
I guess it is. Is it Breitbart that I have here?
I forget what that book was.
I listened to the Flat Earth podcast, which is interesting.
You say that again?
Destiny argued with this guy. That
really?
Guy. Yeah. And it was it's a short one too. It's 46 minutes. Usually they're a lot longer.
That's short.
Usually
I like
they're
how
longer.
you said that.
They're like longer, man.
I can understand.
I was like 20 minutes.
He has like 2 to 3 hour conversations with dudes.
I understand by your
my Destiny standards. All right, is very short.
But that's why it's hard to listen to that shit. It takes fucking forever.
Just put it on. In fact, you don't have it. I have YouTube. What is it? Red, so I can listen to it while the phone is off or whatever. But,
without using your data.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, you can download episodes too. Yeah, on YouTube Red.
Yeah. But yeah, fuck that.
So, fuck you and your facts.
Yeah, you shitlord. Alright, what were we talking about before all of this happens? Something about facts. And how they don't matter.
No, that was you and me.
Liberal fucks.
Dan went off and talked to his boyfriend.
We're talking about right media and flat earthers. We left on flat earth. What are you guys' opinions on?
They have some compelling information.
It's a stupid question.
They have compelling information. Once you sit down and listen to the podcast, Brian, you start questioning. That's all they want you to do.
Oh wait, I just realized you guys were saying you were about to leave. I'm guessing that was a joke?
Did we say that?
Yeah. It sounds like you wants us to leave.
Yeah, I don't
know. Like, I picked up the phone. My friend called me, and you were saying you were talking about leaving. I'm guessing you were joking because I picked up the phone.
I don't think we said that.
I heard Brian say that. Or I guess we're leaving soon. Brian. Whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, this right there, right there.
The Flat Earth Society. The picture's very interesting, at least. I guess the disc spins in space. How does it work?
Maybe. Especially since it's a new podcast, they're talking about the solar eclipse and how it doesn't make sense on a spheroid. And then they listened to this video that they thought was so funny, Brian, about somebody comparing the eclipse and the McGregor fight, and they thought it was so funny, Brian, on this fucking pod.
How?
Oh, is it like some stupid thing where you see Conor McGregor's face? And
No. It was this guy was talking. Like, I have to find it because he was like, Conor McGregor is gonna be dizzied by Floyd Mayweather's punches because he's going to be wondering how on a spheroid blah 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 can happen, when we all know for a fact that this is how it works and stuff like that. It was retarded how they thought it was so funny.
Cringy and very stupid.
It was very cringy, but I was laughing when I listened to it. Flat Earth 101. That's the one I gotta listen to. You should watch this though, Dan. I think you'd like it. You go very in depth. Wisecracks the Squanch. That's what I talk about. Rick and Morty episodes. Got my Star Talk radio. I don't really listen to Neil because he believes in a spheroid Earth.
An oblique spheroid.
Oh my God.
Which is it, Neil? Is it a sphere or is it an egg?
Dumbass, you fucking Neil.
Stupid scientists.
Think they know fucking everything. All the pictures they show of the planet Earth are digitally remastered, Brian. So how the fuck are we supposed to believe that the planet Earth is a sphere?
Easily.
There's no raw pictures, Brian. It's all digital makeups.
None of us are invested in this. Is the problem.
Should we argue that Brian's an idiot for being a vegetarian, Dan?
What's that?
Should we argue that Brian's an idiot for being a vegetarian?
No, I don't think that's idiotic.
For health reasons, maybe. But for moral reasons, maybe not.
I mean, there's arguments.
I would say there's good moral reasons for being a pescatarian.
Sure. It's
what?
like the only one.
A what?
I'm a pescatarian.
Shut the fuck up. That's the one where it drops and then you can eat it, right?
No, I only eat fish that eat other fish.
Oh, that's retarded.
No, but a pescatarian, I'd say there's a good argument for that.
Well, what would you do if you found out that plants were alive and they had sentience?
Well, aren't they alive? I mean,
They are alive, but they had sentience, huh? Because it's arguable that they do.
I'd say still eating fruits is fine.
Why?
That's what they want. That's
Oh,
why they
for
have
you to
seeds.
shit out more?
Yeah.
I mean, the plant could just drop on the ground and...
What are you talking about?
I mean, the apple could just drop on the ground and... But it needs the feces? Is that
They
it?
want someone to eat it.
Oh, because it doesn't need that part of it. But if you take the whole fucking thing down...
The whole reason for the apple is to give you a reason to eat it so you can go somewhere
Maybe
else.
not apples, but if you take a carrot out of the ground... That's the carrot's life. It's not part of a tree.
I mean, I guess. But we're talking
The tree is a
vegetables.
part of the... I mean, the apple's a part of the tree, and they want you to eat that. It doesn't want you to cut it down.
Well, it depends.
It
If
depends.
you're planting it somewhere else, that's fine.
Like the tree?
Yeah.
But you're not.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you are. What are you trying to say?
Carrots. Does that work? In fact, we could do that for potatoes, right? If you ate potatoes like that. That you can cut a potato in half, eat the one half, and then plant the other.
Yeah, you could do that too.
But I'm saying that if you eat an apple, that's fine, because you're taking a part of the tree, and they want you to do that. But if you're eating a carrot, that's the whole carrot, and you're not spreading its life anywhere or anything like that. You're ending its life.
I guess not.
And if you found out carrots were sentient, would you still eat carrots?
I don't know. It depends. I mean, I'd probably say the easiest thing to do is just to be a pescatarian, honestly.
Would
what's a pescatarian?
would you mind eating lions then?
No, you could eat fish.
Oh.
That eat other fish.
No, it's pescatarian.
Oh.
Oh, that's your
Oh, you just
your
eat
thing?
fish? Why is that
that-
justified? They're sentient.
Huh? No, I mean,
Yeah.
if you want to just talk, not even from a moral standpoint, being a pescatarian is...
It's just picking anything at random then. Might as well just
Just
eat whatever you want.
No, being a pescatarian is justified not even from a moral standpoint because
You just...
the environmental impact of being
Eating-
anything else.
What, eating a fish? Can't you overfarm fish?
Yeah, but
Doesn't that happen? Isn't that happening?
it doesn't have as much of a measurable effect as farming
Because we
does
live above ground.
on farming animals does.
Oh, it's to the world, you mean?
Yeah.
You don't know that. You don't live in the sea.
No, but I mean, as far from all the knowledge that I have right now, like fishing is fine.
But they don't know that. Besides, you hurt the environment by overfishing.
Well, yeah, you do hurt like some ecosystems if you overfish, but if you don't overfish, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah, if you don't over make animals.
Oh, you just. I guess you're saying we over farm.
I mean, you can't really say that because you kind of have to. In most situations, you kind of have to overfarm.
I don't know. Chickens. If you have, I had my own chicken farm. I ate eggs every day.
I really don't know. All I know is that the farmland that you're using, you tend to have to cut down trees, and also you create more cows, which increases methane.
That's just the way we do it now. But I'm sure mass fishing is the same way.
I'd have to think about that because it might have an effect on the algae, maybe. But
I think they have salmon farms or something like that, right? They have like fish farms and stuff like that where they do the same.
I mean,
thing.
so far, I would just say so far, as far as our research is concerned, farming has a much bigger impact
on the environment,
and there hasn't really been a measured impact of fishing yet.
Because we don't live on the water.
No, I wouldn't say that is the only reason.
So yes, so are you a vegetarian?
A pescatarian?
He's trying to. He's not a pescatarian.
No, I eat fish. I eat fish sometimes.
He eats chicken sometimes too.
No, I know. I haven't eaten chicken yet. I've eaten fish that one day when I got the fillet of fish.
What did we go to? McDonald's?
Yeah, and I got the fillet of fish.
Yeah, you ate the fish. Because you're a dumb faggot.
Yeah, get wrecked, faggot.
French fries, corn. Corn affects the environment. Corn, blah, blah, blah.
No, French fries is potato.
Right? They make a lot of it's corn too. The French fries at McDonald's.
What do you mean? A lot of it is corn.
It's not corn in the fact that it's corn, but they make a lot of like things at McDonald's with corn.
I mean, corn is fine on its own.
But they mass produce corn or other crops.
That's still fine. The only reason they do that is because they feed it to cows. But us eating corn is fine. Idiot.
But if you had to...
I've heard people argue that corn is like food for animals because like we don't digest it.
Yeah.
We poop it out.
We don't really get anything out of corn.
We poop it out, but it doesn't break down.
Yeah. You looked at your poop when you ate corn?
Nope. Because I eat the whole thing and nothing comes out. I use all the nutrients and minerals, and my body is like the Thunderdome. Humans are inefficient.
I mean, I suppose we are, yes.
But I don't know.
And women are sick because their periods are too much blood.
So this is important. What has inspired this? We've never actually talked about this. You've said it, and I'm like, oh my god. And I was just more concerned about the fact that you never talked about this with me. So what started this?
I've heard some arguments that are convincing, at least to me. That's pretty much it.
Have you talked to anyone, or were you looking stuff up online?
I mean, I have a few vegan friends, but like I can't really sacrifice flavor that hard. So I just go like vegetarian, pescatarian.
I can give you.
Well, honestly, what a lot of vegans do is that they'll pretty much have like vegan chicken or vegan General Tso's chicken or whatever, and it's just like mostly what they do is like they just put the flavor of the thing onto like tofu or soybean shit or whatever they.
Tempeh and seitan are really big ones.
Okay.
I'm not really. I mean, if you use it right, they taste good on their own, but when they try to be something they're not, it tends to fall short, in my opinion.
Is it okay to eat carnivores?
Is it okay to eat carnivores?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Why not? That's basically a pescatarian, right?
That's a pescatarian.
Yeah.
It's not a real thing, it's a joke.
Yeah, I was like starting to wonder.
Look, you've entered the... Cows don't necessarily enter the blah 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 for nature, right? They don't want to eat other animals, so. But if you eat an animal, you eat other animals. It's all fair game.
Who am I to pass judgment?
Yeah, you're getting what you do to everybody else, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's just funny.
It's very funny.
Pescatarian.
I'm gonna start eating fucking.
Yeah, just eat lions.
Lions.
They're dicks. They eat other animals. Fuck
Cecil deserved to die.
Fuck them.
So did Harambe.
What do gorillas eat?
Nah, they're vegetarians, I think, mostly.
No, but they do commit murders. Like, they have wars and stuff. It's kind of interesting.
So if we go to war and gorillas go to war, that's nature.
I mean, I guess. I mean, we are nature.
There's no denying it.
Oh, they mostly eat vegetarian food. That's interesting.
Termites and ants.
They're better than us.
Whoa. Would you eat bugs?
Huh?
Would you eat bugs?
I don't think so.
If they tasted good and you didn't know they were bugs, would you eat bugs?
Well, that means I ate a bug that tasted good and didn't know it was a bug.
Alright. You don't eat bugs, not because you don't eat it. You wouldn't only eat bugs because you don't like the fact that you're eating bugs, right?
Yes.
Not because of some moral reason.
It depends on the bug, also, I guess.
Ants.
I guess it depends on if I'm eating their queen. It seems to be the central intelligence.
So
a million ants.
1 million ants.
Don't worry, my queen is making more. I'm back to 1 million ants.
But okay, so you heard some convincing arguments,
Yeah.
but so
what if I told you none of that mattered?
I mean,
well, if you're Rick,
that's
yeah, that
anything,
would
really.
basically.
Yeah, nothing really matters.
But
See?
the thing is what made you make the change? Like, what arguments convinced you? Oh, I should go this path.
You realize he was a bitch.
I mean, there's a few arguments. Definitely I'd say probably the most convincing one is probably the environmental one, but there really is no, I guess there's really no moral justification for Sean looking at me. No, for eating animals, it's just something you do out of pleasure when you could easily stop doing that.
So that's what I am.
Well, in this day and age, we've developed our technology to a point where, like, we don't have to eat animals.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
I'd say in some countries you don't have a choice, but then again, you probably kind of do, because even poor areas in India have no problem just going on a strictly vegetarian diet. So really,
isn't that mostly Indians in general, or am I generalizing?
it's Indians in general, but even the poor ones have no issue going strictly vegetarian.
What if we got rid of cows and only ate chicken?
I mean, it's still like fucked up.
I mean, the environmental problem really just comes from like our cows, isn't it? Right?
Mostly, yeah, but also we'd be making chicken farms, and that's still bad for the environment.
Is it?
Yeah.
How is it bad for the
Is
environment?
Because most of the time we're taking like forested areas and making farms with it.
I mean, you don't need to do that for chickens. You put them in a pen, you feed them corn, and you're good to go.
I mean, yeah, but people tend to want to have like a flat, open area to raise their chickens.
That's for like cows and stuff. For chickens, you
For
do that
chickens,
because people are like, let's do free range farming. But if you said fuck the chicken, then you just keep them in a cage.
Yeah, but people would still make a room for it. Like, I don't know, man. It's still killing an animal, also.
So if your problem is with the environment, then all you have to do is keep cows in a pen, feed them, and keep them locked up.
I mean, if I own the world, sure, Sean, we could do that.
But I own the world, and I'm not doing that.
Well, that's the way it goes. I
Well,
mean,
there you
whoever
go.
owns the world does whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
If it's a moral reason, say it's because you don't want animals to die.
Well, I don't want animals to die either.
But do they deserve your pity?
You don't. I don't know, man. Whatever, dude. I mean, nothing really matters, but
I'm religious, and God put animals on the earth for me to eat. So it's just how it is. Can't argue with that.
Oh
Try.
yeah, that's sound logic.
Try to argue with it.
hey, Sean, do you hate white people?
Some of my best friends are white.
Yeah, and you look at me.
Let's have that argument, Sean. Do you think black people are oppressed?
Are oppressed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
Whoa.
No, fuck
You
it. Let's
disagree?
have this conversation.
You disagree?
No, I just want to know how you feel about it.
Yeah.
I think mostly poor people are oppressed, and since most poor people are black, black people are oppressed.
Well, yeah, the thing is, I guess, I don't deny that black people have struggles, but I feel like most of the time when people, like, I feel most people spend too much time debating over, like, different religions and, you know, different ethnicities and races and even gender. But, like, one of the biggest issues is like, in my opinion, the rich versus the poor.
Sure.
You know?
But
do you feel
I think if you're talking about run-ins with the police, then you're more likely to get shot if you're black than if you're white.
Apparently.
That's a racial thing, not poor or rich necessarily.
Yeah.
True.
So do you feel that black people face more discrimination than white people regardless of their status?
Yeah.
Okay.
Job interviews.
Yeah, well, you're saying black people don't get jobs because they're black.
Yeah. And not because people are racist, it's just a thing that people tend to just be turned off by and stuff like that. I don't think the person who chooses the white guy over the black guy, it's not because he's racist, it's just that he's like, I would get along with a white person more than I would a black person.
Yeah.
And he might have negative connotations with black people or something like that too, who knows.
Like an inherent bias that he doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is a rich and poor thing, but
yeah, no, I know that's what I was saying. I know there's a struggle, and there's that extra layer, but my thing is sometimes people get too caught into that.
Oh, that's why white people get angry. They're like, it's not a black. I'm not racist. It's not a black thing, but.
Oh yeah, well that's just the white people who just don't get it. But there are black people who are just quick to, like, you know, say that everything is a racist
they're
thing.
idiots. Yeah, there are idiots that are black. Yeah.
You know, but I guess that's one of my issues. It's like, oh man, that person looked at me weird. Obviously he's racist. But if the person was black and did the same look, it would have just been like, oh, that guy is just weird, giving me a weird look.
That fug.
That tug.
Just giving me a weird look.
That tug nigga. All I want to do is say the word nigga. Look, I'm not racist or anything, but if black people can do it, I should be able to do it. They can call me a cracker. I don't give a shit.
Oh god.
God, I had this fucking coworker the other day, dude.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
She was she usually drinks black tea. She was just sweetening her. She was looking for like sweetener for like, oh, where's my sweetener for my black tea? You're like, oh, I found it sweetening like my nigga tea or something like that.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Is she white?
She's Hispanic.
Oh.
But she definitely said like nigga tea at some point, and that was just like, that's the only thing that stuck out in that.
Who heard this?
Me, my team leader, and Bobby all heard it.
So is it like
in that situation,
and the rest were other white
people? You know
people,
what's funny about that situation? It's on Brian to say something.
What's that? Say that again?
It's on Brian to say something.
Oh, right.
They're all white. They're all white.
Yeah.
She's Hispanic, so she kind of has that card.
She can say
Brian
that.
is the only one that can
No,
really say
I
that.
definitely said something. Most of it was laughing, but she was asking.
Wait, that's wrong.
Because it's like one of those things that's so ridiculous you don't expect it.
Uh-huh.
So I was just like shaking my head, laughing, and she's asking me questions like, "Oh, like you're not like fully black, are you? Like you're
Are you?
You don't talk like them, and the way you dress."
And I was like, I'm like half Belizean, which is like
You should have said that.
kind of. I shouldn't have said that.
She just been like, I'm black.
But I'm like, no, I was like, no, but I am like, I would identify as black.
Like,
yeah,
nah, I'm a nigga. Me and your T got something in common.
And she was trying to say how like, so that's like South American, I'm like South American too. So
See how she had to address you? She had to address you, not everybody else in the room. She had to address you because you're the only one that could actually say something.
Right, because the white people, like...
Unless you're like a social justice warrior white person, you would say something, but these aren't that kind of people. Yeah.
No, they definitely just...
So
they wanted to say something.
Exactly. Your average white person just doesn't know what to do because they're just uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
So,
she's Spanish, so you kind of don't know how to approach it. You're like, Can't she say that?
That's what they all were waiting for.
Yeah. They're all like side glancing at Brian, like.
Everyone's getting out of their cubicles to see what he's about to say. Like, oh no,
black, right?
it's about to go down.
Your last name's O'Reilly. You're not fully black.
So I guess my thing is like I don't think confronting the person would change anything, but I think making fun of them would. So I do call her my black tea. Once in a while. Yeah.
You get the people to say that.
So I'm like, you're not gonna live this down, but I'm not gonna like call you an asshole.
You're like my black tea, you know, my nigga tea.
How does that help at all? Like,
because she knows what she did was wrong, and when he brings it up, it's just a reminder.
Nah, see, I would think that's just like referencing this one thing between.
Yeah, but she's never gonna say that in front of him again.
I doubt it.
Unless you guys became friends,
there's
no way she's gonna like ever bring it up again. She's not gonna say nigga tea around Brian again.
Nigga, anything, I hope.
She needed to be like, well, my husband's black, so that's fine.
But you know what's funny though? I didn't know about this until later. But when I first started, Bobby was sitting next to me and he was like, oh, you know, he likes listening to a lot of rap music. He was like, oh, so, you know, I'm listening to that new, like, Future album or something like that.
Oh, God.
So, like, oh, you know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, homie.
And then I was just, like, joking, but I was, like, kind of like, let me make this real uncomfortable. So I said something. But then I didn't know later after that, our account manager came up to Bobby and was like, that was completely uncalled for. You need to apologize right now.
Wait, that he came up to that guy saying... Wait,
yeah, the account manager came up to Bobby and said, you need to apologize for that right now. Like, I didn't hear any of that, but Bobby told me later, and that was just hilarious. I didn't realize that, because he was apologizing a lot that day.
They don't have a lot of black people in that office.
Nah, and the one that we do have is remote. Like, he comes in, like, once a month, really. So he doesn't...
Like a lazy nigga.
He's our best salesperson, so he can't really...
Sales could do anything over the phone. You could just work from home when you.
Yeah, I'm surprised more salespeople don't do that. It's fucking sweet, dude.
Probably because you have to like show up on the job and like a lot. Because we have salespeople at our job, but
they're always out.
It doesn't look right if you're home. You could be the best salesperson. I mean, once you're the best salesperson, maybe you could pull shit like that. But
I think there's a lot of racial issues in our company though, because that lady, the one that said that, is she's Dominican, and our boss calls her Mexican. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm joking, right, Millie? Like, you know, it's funny. You know, you're Mexican. I know you're Dominican, but he keeps saying it. And I don't think he realizes that that's not okay.
Like, I really hope they don't build that wall, Millie.
I can see him saying that too. Like, he said some suspect shit, like, we ordered this, like, vegan burger off this menu, and he sent out, like, an email, because, like, we ordered beforehand, like, oh, I can't wait to get my transgendered crossbred burger.
Oh my god. Wow, like...
He's pushing all the buttons.
Yeah, yeah.
I like this guy.
That's like, oh, vegan burger? What is it, a PC burger? God damn.
You guys want some of this tranny patty?
What the fuck?
But he thinks it's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
And like, when you're the CEO, I guess you can do that.
Not really, but yeah.
You shouldn't, but...
Yes, but no.
Yeah. Pretty much yes, but no.
Yeah, it's basically like being Trump. Like, you're in a position where you can just say whatever the fuck
but it's
you
not
want.
okay.
Because you have that much power and that much money.
It depends on the person that you have hired, you know? Because then the person who's under you is either, I like my job, so I'm fine with dealing with this, or I can't stand this, I'm gonna leave it, or I'm gonna see if I can't make some money from this guy because he said some real offensive shit to me.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that you get to deal with. So if she's ever fired, that's something that can happen.
So you can just bring that up that he keeps calling her Mexican.
Yeah.
Found that really offensive.
They fired me because he keeps calling me Mexican, and that's all he has to do.
Yeah. That's when the black tea comes out.
You ever heard the phrase "spill the tea"?
No.
I'm hearing this more and more now. What the fuck?
Is it a new thing?
I guess not really. It's like basically gossip. It's like, tell me, spill the tea, spill the beans.
Oh God.
So people around my job are saying it more. I'm like, what the fuck?
Spill that tea.
Spill the tea, baby.
But you know, one thing, I guess going back to the earlier thing, like, it's what I find, like, I guess kind of interesting is when it comes to, like, I guess, you know, the Black Lives Matter issue of, like, them going, like, oh, we're getting shot by cops and, you know, that's not cool. I always find, like, the opponents who are often Republican and white often just tend to, like, find, like, just, like, straight up deny and also say, oh, well, what about this and what about that? Mm-hmm. You know, it just seems like it...
Damn, you really like Destiny. He brings a lot of this up.
But
it's called whataboutism. What about when black people shoot cops?
Shut the fuck up about Destiny.
I love Destiny.
I know you do.
I love you too.
That's why I hate him.
You guys have a lot in common. You're both white.
Yeah, and it's not the first time you said that.
Damn it, I'm bringing over old jokes.
Yeah. But, well, then again, I guess partially it's, because, like, they often tend to love cops. So, like, that's probably why they deflect that issue. You know.
Yes, sir. And apparently, what is it? Voting is terrible the way it is now because of gerrymandering, and you redistribute district because everything is districts now or whatever. I guess. So
yeah, Brian has informed me about it, gerrymandering, which, like, I don't know why that's still a thing. But you know, fuck democracy, right?
Oh, I found this democracy from the CEO.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
What happened?
I found it from the CEO.
How do you put that in a text?
He sent that as an email to the entire company.
How do you put that on paper, Brian? How do you have proof of something that you said? How do you have proof of this?
I'm demanding transgender crossbred burgers tomorrow. Hold on. There's more.
No, that's from other people. That's completely fine with whatever you're saying.
I'm a breatharian, so I'm good. I just need pranic light, air, and the energy from the universe.
This is people just trying to play it off.
Yeah. Will there be a children's menu for Nico and Benny?
Because they're the two youngest people in the company.
I can always
pick up some of the young people calling them children?
Yeah, the children's menu. I can always pick up some Happy Meals in Times Square, only if it comes with a toy. Ha ha ha. Alright, I just wanted to...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was...
Yeah, just the transgender.
Oh, does what's that?
No, go on.
Does Brindle Room offer options for pescatarians? Is that a work thing, like the pescatarians?
It's from a show from the show Silicon Valley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So of course we watch it. Well, I don't watch it, but I watch the clips. So. Yeah.
How do you put that on an email, Brian?
I don't know.
How do you have proof, written proof of something
there.
you said?
It's right there.
Yeah.
I'm demanding transgender crossbred burgers tomorrow.
Brian, you should become transgender.
And sue him.
And be so that way you can be black, a woman, and a fucking LGBT person. So that
and Bobby thought I listened to rap music, and somebody said something about nicotine. And I just feel really uncomfortable.
It's really attacked at work.
Oh God,
Jesus fucking Christ.
It's pretty good. Transgender burger. I ain't never got tripped by a burger yet.
Oh my God. Oh, God damn it.
Good shit, man. That's the meme.
Oh, so you can keep putting the wrong finger here. I don't think this ever locks your phone. Oh, maybe wrong. Up with it. I don't know. Yep.
So what were we talking about before? I forgot.
How Dan's undergoing HRT.
What's that?
Hormone replacement therapy.
What?
Because you want to be a nice woman. I think you'd make a big woman.
You fuck you, Sean.